Hello everyone, I'm Rukma. I'm a chartered accountant and today let's talk mutual funds. In the next 10 minutes, let's take some examples from the world of cricket and simplify the different kinds of schemes in India for mutual funds. Look at these people. Virat Kohli, Rahul, Hardik Pandya, David Warner. Who are all these? Players from IPL season 2021. If we grouped these people by teams, we would have Virat Kohli and UZ in RCB, Pandya and Bumrah in Mumbai Indians, Gayle and Rahul in the Punjab Kings teams. So just like the IPL season 2021 has 8 teams like Mumbai Indians, Royal Challengers, etc. Similarly, in India, there are about 44 mutual fund houses like Aditya Birla, Nippon India, SBI Mutual Fund, ICICI Pru and so on. The BCCI makes rules as to how many teams can participate in IPL. Similarly, if you want to start a mutual fund scheme, you need to be an AMC that complies with the rules put in place by SEBI. SEBI regulates the mutual funds in India just like BCCI regulates the cricket teams in India. Every IPL team has a 24-member squad with 11 playing members. Similarly, every mutual fund house has numerous mutual fund schemes, some having more than 100 schemes. But why so many? Think cricket team. If you're good at batting, you are a batsman. If you're great at bowling, you're a good bowler. If you have a bit of both, you're an all-rounder. All these people come together to form a 11-member team. Similarly, depending on which asset class the mutual fund scheme invests in, there's a different scheme for each of those things. For example, if you invest primarily in equities, which is shares of companies, then it is an equity mutual fund. If you invest mostly in debt instruments, it is a debt mutual fund. If there's a mix of both, it's a hybrid mutual fund. Let's try to understand the difference between an equity mutual fund and debt mutual fund with the help of Virat Kohli and Rahul Dravid. Virat Kohli is a great T20 batsman. Hard-hitting style keeps the run rate up and makes a lot of runs. But by making some risky shots, he even puts his wicket at risk, right? Similarly, equity mutual funds invest in shares of listed companies. Due to this, they can make a good return when the company is doing well and the markets are doing well. But if the markets tumble or the company has a bad season, even the share price of that particular scrip comes down. Hence, whichever mutual fund has invested in that particular scrip, even the value of that mutual fund will come down. Look at this graph here. This is the share price of Infosys. On April 12th, it was at 1440, whereas on April 30, it has dipped to 1349. This is called volatility. You can't be sure how much the share price will be on a given day. Now let's talk about debt mutual funds. Think Rahul Dravid, the wall. He has faced the maximum number of deliveries in Test cricket because he has a solid defense technique. While you can't be sure he can make a lot of runs in a short amount of time, he can definitely keep his wicket standing strong for a long time. This is akin to a debt mutual fund. By investing only in fixed income securities, it makes sure that the volatility is low. Your capital has a more chance of being protected. Debt mutual funds invest primarily in government securities, corporate bonds, etc., which have a fixed return. While the return may not be as high as a stock market return, still they have a decent return in the range of say 7 to 8%. Let's consider a hybrid mutual fund. It's like a 50-over batsman. Sometimes he may need to be aggressive depending on the run rate. Sometimes he may need to play defense if there are less wickets on hand, right? Similarly, a hybrid mutual fund invests in both equities and debt. Investing a portion in equities gives it a chance to get higher returns, whereas investing a portion in debt makes sure that at least a major portion of the capital gets protected. So there's a bit more protection to the capital and there's even a chance to make some returns. One reason why there are so many mutual fund schemes is that most of the time every scheme has two variants. One is a direct plan and one is a regular plan. So what's the difference between the two? Think of buying a product from wholesale versus retail. Wholesale is like the direct plan. Retail is like the regular plan. The product is the same. The features are the same. It works exactly the same. But when you buy wholesale, you don't need to pay as much as when you buy it retail. Reason being, when you buy it from a retailer, you need to pay a bit of commission, right? Similarly, direct funds are bought straight from the mutual fund house, whereas regular plans depend on a distribution network, be it your banker or be it apps like Scriptbox. They all sell regular mutual funds. So sometimes it has an added benefit that you may get a bit of advisory as well. Mutual funds grouped by maturity. Suppose you want to watch a cricket match. What options do you have? You can either go watch it live at the stadium, or you can watch it on TV or on an OTT platform like Hotstar. So let's take the example of a stadium. How many people can watch at one time? It's only limited to say 20,000 or 30,000 depending on the capacity. Once the tickets are sold out, you cannot get more tickets at all. You may be able to buy it from somebody who's already bought it, but the guy cannot create additional tickets, right? This is akin to a closed mutual fund scheme. At the beginning, the mutual fund house specifies how many units it is intending to sell. Once these units are sold out, there is no new investor that can come and invest in this scheme. The total amount will be fixed. Contrast this with watching on a platform like Hotstar. If a new person wants to watch, they can always create a new user ID or login, and that person can watch. This way, there can be like thousands and lakhs and millions of viewers, right? Similarly, in an open-ended mutual fund scheme, you can join the scheme whenever you want. If you want to subscribe to that scheme, the mutual fund house will create an additional unit and issue it to you at the prevailing rate, and hence you become a unit holder. Close-ended funds are having a specific maturity. You can enter the scheme only at the beginning. Then the maturity will be specified by the mutual fund scheme, say 3 years or 5 years, and at the end of that period, the mutual fund will return you your money along with whatever return it has been able to make during this period. Whereas in an open-ended fund, you can buy units whenever you want, sell them whenever you want. So you can be a unit holder for 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, whatever is your wish. Because of the kind of flexibility they offer, open-ended mutual fund schemes are more popular. And since you can invest at any time, there's a possibility of doing a systematic investment plan where, say, on a monthly or a weekly basis, you can have a fixed amount that you want to invest. Whereas in a close-ended fund, since the amounts are accepted only at the beginning, you need to make a lump sum investment. If you want to enter the scheme later on, if there is a willing seller, then you can enter. For example, like a stadium ticket, somebody wants to resell it, then you can buy. Similarly, if somebody else who is a fund unit holder wants to resell it to you, then you can buy it. Otherwise, this mutual fund house is not going to accept money from you directly. Let's look at different kinds of mutual funds by strategy. So there can be two different kinds of strategies. One is the active strategy and the other one is passive strategy. Active strategy is where the mutual fund manager uses all his brains and comes up with a great strategy which he thinks will make the best returns or the lowest volatility or so on. Whereas under passive investing, you just follow an automatic route. What are we talking about here? Let's understand this with the help of an example from cricket. Let's say you have to pick a dream team. So there are two options. First thing, you'll say, hey, these are my favorite batsmen, my favorite bowlers, my favorite wicketkeeper. So I'll make a team and I think this team can win on any pitch or under any conditions. On the other hand, somebody who doesn't know much about cricket can say, let me go to the ICC rankings list. I'll pick the top 5 batsmen, I'll pick the top 5 bowlers and I'll pick the top 1 wicketkeeper. With this 11-member team, I'll go and face the match. So if you see, this strategy of picking from the ICC rankings doesn't have any element of judgment involved. Whenever the ranking gets updated, even my players list will get updated. On the other hand, when I'm actively picking the players, there's an element of judgment involved. I'm assessing how good the players are and picking them, right? Similarly, under mutual fund schemes, there are something called index funds, which mirror the index. So if you have to look at a passive investing strategy, let's say the Nifty 50 index. Let's say there's a Nifty Etf. What does this mutual fund scheme do? The Nifty 50 index is comprised of 50 stocks. So the Nifty Etf, what it does is it invests the money in the same proportion as the index. So if the index gains 2% in a day, even this ETF will mirror a similar percentage. Well, that was all about the different kinds of mutual fund schemes which are there currently in the market. Hope you found some of this information useful. Do stay tuned to our channel for more such videos. Thanks for watching.